Many grain growers in the eastern states are facing a near total wipeout this season. Victoria's winter crop is expected to come in at around 4.4 million tonnes, down 42% on last year. While parts of the Western District and West Wimmera have fared well, the majority of the Wimmera Mallee has been ravaged by both frost and drought. Harvest will be over almost before it starts on many farms, and this means the usually vast casual workforce of machinery operators has very little to do. I spoke to Casey Brown, Managing Director of AgriLabour Australia, who says workers are looking for jobs in horticulture or heading to Western Australia to find employment.
In relation to a lot of the horticulture, which we do a lot down in that region, we've actually seen this time of the year where we definitely see a dip in applications coming through for a lot of horticulture work that we do, but this time of the year we've actually seen an increase, and I think you could probably put that down to the lack of harvest work on at the moment, and in return we're seeing more applications coming through to those horticulture roles.
And across the eastern seaboard from Queensland down to Victoria, we are seeing that workers that typically pick up harvest work in those parts of the world, they're looking to the west and heading over to Western Australia?
Yeah, most definitely. We've definitely seen that. It's an unfortunate thing that some are struggling and others are getting all the quality. So we've done a bit of work over in WA in recent months, and it's been quite easy to get applicants to make their way over there for the harvest. So it's a good position to be in if you're a WA grower at the moment.
And I guess some of those regions of Western Australia, particularly the more isolated ones, they do typically struggle to get workers. So I guess, as you say, it really is a boon for them.
Yeah, look, isolation's always a difficulty in attracting good labour. But at times like this, when other regions in Australia just don't have the work, it definitely helps resolve that isolation to some degree.
And can you quantify it all? Put a figure on just how many workers you think are heading west?
Oh, hard to. I wouldn't be able to put an actual number on it, but look, compared to the last 3 years, last probably 5 to 6 years, we haven't seen as many workers make their way over WA as we have done this year.
And another concern that I have had people raise is that in a lot of instances there are workers that do the harvest. They might do a little bit of travel over the Christmas period and then come back to that same farm and help out to put the next year's crop in. Is there concern that those people mightn't be around come sowing time next year?
No, not necessarily, Angus. I think a lot of them are just making short-term adjustments to what has historically been pretty secure work for them, mate. So I think majority of them will go back to those regions where they've been for quite a while. But again, some of them may get permanent full-time employment out of the opportunities that they seek in the west and other regions.
Now, the harvest workers that we're talking about, are these local people or backpackers or a mix of both?
It's a good combination. You know, we've got a good mix of temporary visa holders and actually, surprisingly, a lot of locals as well who really draw on this harvest work. So it is actually a good mix between the two.
And are there any instances of farmers themselves or farmers' children not having enough work on the home property and heading west?
Yeah, funny you should say that. We've actually had a couple of actual farm owners, mate, that have really had it tough and have got to the point where they've applied for a couple of roles, in particular over in the west. So, yeah, we've seen that on a couple of instances. And to be honest, in my time doing this, I can't remember the last time we saw that.
Right, so that really is unprecedented to have farm owners themselves looking for harvest work.
Yeah, we haven't seen it like we've seen it this year, and it's been a real eye-opener.
And I suppose it's not ideal for those farmers, but as you say, there is an opportunity over there to, I guess, do what you know and make some decent money.
Most definitely, mate, most definitely.
That's Casey Brown from AgriLabour Australia speaking to Angus Verley.